Why is it that when we listen to the egoic voice of the mind, it almost always leads to trouble? Although our world seems obsessed with pointing out and focusing only on our differences, the truth is, we share much more in common than our prejudices would like to admit. When it comes to the range of our emotions, we all hurt, laugh, and cry. We all love, yearn, and wonder why. We all want to find our purpose, to be fulfilled, to be happy, and to matter. We also constantly obsess over ourselves, dwell too much about the past, and we think far too much about the future. In short, we are haunted by our own self-analysis and by our own overthinking. Oftentimes, we are so distracted by what's already happened or what might possibly become that we rarely soak in the immediate quality of the present moment. Indeed, we are often only half aware of what's actually happening right here and right now. The dialogue of our inner voice often stalls us or simply pumps the brakes from doing many things which are beneficial and worthwhile. Indeed, negative thoughts stir the negative inner voice, which we then repeat inside our heads, and which ultimately stand in our way of our inner peace and happiness. It's like, what's the use? I could never do that. Why should I even bother? Or I'll be alone forever. Or I'll feel happy or secure if only I had this or that, then I'll be at peace. Or what's the point in even trying? Have you ever heard this in your mind? Of course, we all have. Just remember that when we listen to and give attention to our own inner doubt, it can only convince us to do less than what we're actually capable of. Look within, see this for yourself. If we're not mindful of our ongoing inner critic, then it will permeate practically every thought we have. In so doing, the inner critic will infect every pure intention and will question every righteous action. Many are so blinded by their ongoing opinions of themselves and everything around them that they stumble into walls and places where there are none. While we can't control the thoughts that randomly appear in our minds, we can, however, control how we respond to them. In fact, how we respond to our ongoing inner commentary not only creates the flavor of our experiences in life, but it also controls our fate. Through mindfulness and meditation practice, however, we learn to pay attention to the nature of our thoughts and then pause and notice our inner critic whenever it swells up inside us. Through simple observation, we can unmask its attempts to pass its disparaging words off as reason, logic, knowledge, or common sense. If you do this earnestly, you'll see that it's not the world that's out to get you. It's yourself. We're all united by the drama of our human psychosis, and all are haunted by that nagging voice who calls itself the I thought, and who has something to chatter on about everything we think and do. This is, of course, our ego. And to be clear, The ego is not something reserved for only those who are overly confident, proud, or arrogant, nor is it something only for the emotionally weak or wounded. No, the ego is an innate evolutionary trait of our consciousness that sits deep within us all. Listening to the voice of the egoic mind will almost always get us into trouble and will make us do insane things in the heat of the moment that are totally out of line with our true nature. Only if we have the necessary clarity to do so. The ego is the thing that gives us both an overinflated sense of ourselves and also that which drags us down and makes us afraid of the world. Our ego can even make us afraid of ourselves. Imagine that. Awaken. Begin to consciously observe the mind and refuse to listen to the ego's voice when it pipes up and attempts to offer an opinion you didn't ask for. When we strip away its power of speech, then we can move freely beyond it. By simply ignoring our inner critic, we enable our true self, our true nature to reach its full potential. Ignore your overthinking, and certainly don't believe your own lies. After all, believing our own lies simply reduces our own life down to a lie. So instead, be mindful, awaken, live truth. We can easily begin our practice by simply noticing the constant barrage of doubts and fears that proliferate and percolate up from inside our minds. When we let go of all belief, opinions, emotions, and points of view that keep us trapped inside of ourselves, then we break the chains that tether us to unreal fears and limiting opinions. As the Buddha said, the one who wanders independent in the world, free from opinions and viewpoints, does not grasp at them, nor does he or she enter into disputes and arguments. As the lotus rises on its stalk, unsoiled by the mud and water, so too the wise one speaks of peace and is untainted by the opinions of the world. So if we are unbothered by the opinions of our own minds, and certainly the opinions of others that are not.